there, my name is Jonna of Kong English, and I will be with you to give you a short review on how to study your book. Can you believe it? This book is used for listening comprehension and general language acquisition at a beginning level, as well as the specific mastery of the idioms and expressions. English idioms, proverbs, and expressions are an important part of everyday English. They come up all the time in both written and spoken English. Because idioms don't always make sense literally, you need to familiarize yourself with the meaning and usage of each idiom. That may seem like a lot of work, but learning idioms is fun, especially when you compare English idioms to the idioms in your own language. Learning to use common idioms and expressions will make your English sound natural. So it's a good idea to master some of these expressions. But first, let me give you tips on how to study the book, particularly the expressions, effectively. Number 1, always find the articles interesting. Finding something interesting is the best way to learn. It's like, what do people say in English if they have encountered something in life? Number 2, understand the tone and the idea of the article. Knowing the tone, the way things are said, and the main idea is important for you to know what's going on and read the English properly. Number 3, read it once quickly and enjoy it. If you don't understand, skip it. Enjoy and love it what you do understand. Why are we doing this? First, because it's fun. It's good to link English to things that make you happy. This keeps you motivated. Second, even when you don't completely understand, you're still becoming familiar with seeing the words and phrases. Your brain will remember what you're seeing. Next time, it will be a little better. Think about how a child learns to speak. A baby listens to everything. She doesn't understand the words you're using, but she hears all the sounds. She hears that they go in particular order, and she slowly begins to give those sounds meaning. It is a long time before she uses them herself. When she does start to use those English words, she usually uses them correctly. And why? Because it sounds right. Number 4, read it again and focus on learning 5 new words or expressions. That's right, only 5. I'll walk you through how it's done. In this example, let's look at the expression, can't stand it. It's a bit tricky. I can't stand it. First of all, hear it in your head. You know that because can't is in capital letters, that's where you should put your stress, the emphasis. You'll say can't more loudly or strongly than the other words. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Number 5, pick one of new phrases and use it sometime during the day. This will feel awkward, especially if you don't usually speak English to other people. You can make this feel less awkward in 2 ways. Number 1, you can find a friend to practice your expressions with. Hopefully, this friend will also be in a similar English level as you. Tell him or her that you're going to practice your expressions. Number 2, talk to yourself. If you don't have anyone to talk to in English, practice by speaking out loud to yourself. You can hear yourself say it and practice the pronunciation and speed. Why do you need to do this? Because when you practice an expression, you're being creative with language. You're using it rather than memorizing it. English isn't just in textbooks, novels, and articles anymore. It's part of your daily life and your way of thinking. Let's take the example again of the phrase, I can't stand it. You have to think about using this phrase creatively or you'll forget it. This is the phrase you're going to use today, so you have to try to use it in other ways. Try to think, what else can't you stand besides a thing? What is something that you thought about all the time, but now you don't? Sometimes this can be a person. Maybe you've been on a date and unfortunately you don't like him anymore. You could say, I can't stand him. Sometimes this could be old music you loved that you no longer think is good. I can't stand Gangnam Style. You could say the next time you hear it and feel annoyed. It could be a place, a hobby, a book, anything will do. Now you can see how useful this phrase is. And you'll remember it the next time you want to express this feeling. Now let's go back to the book. Number 1, quick reading. Your teacher will ask you to read the article, note the expressions in bold, and try to understand and tone them properly. Do not hesitate to ask for teacher's assistance if you are confused of something. Next is the new idioms and expressions. These expressions are taken from the article that you have read. Prepare example sentences with the use of expressions, for the teacher will probably ask you to give example sentences. Number 2. The teacher will no longer ask you to listen to the story since you already have gone through it on the first page. All you have to do is recall and make a story out of the pictures based on the article that you have read. And do not forget to use the expressions that you have learned. Number 3. This will only be a review while the teacher checks on the answer on number 2. Number 4. Complete the idiom. A review on the expressions that you have learned. You need to answer the expressions based on the given meaning. Number 5, tell the story. As a review, you need to retell the story without seeing the story nor the pictures. And number 6, answer the questions. First, about the story, where you have to answer the comprehension questions, and then about you, where you have to answer based on your own thoughts and experience. And number 7, write about yourself. All you have to do is complete the phrases about yourself. And number 8, take a dictation. Fill in the missing expressions learned from the article. And lastly, number 9, complete the dialogue. Expressions are provided on top of the page. The teacher will probably ask you to take turns in answering and doing the dialogue. And then let's summarize the process. Number 1, find the articles interesting. Number 2, understand the tone and the main idea of the article. Number 3, read it first for fun. Number 4, learn 5 new expressions. And number 5, use 1 new expression during the day. Use it creatively. And number 6, go do it now. After all, being fluent in English means actually using English. I can't stand not speaking in English. Don't forget to check your teacher's feedback after your class so you may review your hours and see their comments. And don't forget that you may write a composition after your class for review and wait within a day, that's 24 hours, for your teacher's feedback. I hope you have enjoyed your class and see you on our next video.